Wild
You
access,
forgot?
and then okay. Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Wild access!
Oh, it's terrible. So hold on, it's whip it out.
Out.
Whip it out.
Wild access. We're getting old. Sorry.
Alright, sorry about that.
It's been a long time.
Alright, let's give it.
Fix it in post.
All right.
Wait, I gotta stretch.
Call it out. Yeah. Okay, come on, Phil.
1, 2, 3.
Wild access!
Thank you for
Thank
coming,
you guys.
Appreciate
it.
Hello, recorders. I'm reporting to you live from StocktonCon Winter 2022. It's been a great show, and it's recording time!
Give a big round of applause to Romy and Alyson.
Thank you. Thanks for showing up, guys. Thanks for having us.
Oh, yeah, thank you for being at the show. It's always a pleasure to have Power Rangers at the show.
Cool.
And
Yeah,
of
happy
course,
to be here.
Alyson. How have you been? Hey, how's the world
That's a
treating you?
loaded question.
I know. We chatted a little bit
Years,
earlier.
right?
Man, how's the world been treating you in the last couple of years? I know it's just kind of the way the world is at the moment, but I mean, how's that been? You guys been doing okay?
Yeah, staying safe. A lot of downtime at home. I mean, sometimes there's just not much to do. Walk the dog several times a day, so she's happy.
Thrilled.
Hello. Yeah,
Much
the
better.
The dog's thrilled. What about you, Alyson?
Lots of dog walking. Yes.
We have,
I have 7 animals.
Oh my gosh.
I only have one.
Well, being part of Wild Force, right? You kind of gotta keep the animal thing going. And yeah, where I live, it's the steepest hills in LA, so doing lots of crazy hikes. Because like the first year of COVID, I mean, right? Couldn't really do much of anything.
No, everything had to be outside.
Yeah, so, but, and having animals helps when you're stuck at home alone, right?
For sure, they're very comforting. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a 72-pound pit bull myself, so
Oh, goodness.
we walk him like 4 times a day. Yeah, it's like
Yeah, I bet
let's
you
out
have
and
to.
walk, and that's the contact.
Or
with
he
the
walks
inside.
you.
There is that. Yes,
Okay.
we can't let him off a leash because if you let him off, he's gone. So I mean, he's like 72 pounds of muscle, and if he wants to go somewhere, he goes.
Does he like see a squirrel or cat
Yes.
and lunge?
And we have a neighbor that lives there. They have a lot of outdoor cats. Like she's like the adopted cat in the neighborhood lady. So
Well, I have 5, so I'm one of those, so
She-
I'm
she's-
having
Relate.
it.
Yeah, she's got like 4 or 5 cats, and they just hang out in front of the house, and every time you gotta drag him along because he's just checking out cats.
He's like, I'm so hungry, and they look like good snacks.
I don't know if he wants to eat them.
You
He
never
definitely
know.
Likes, he definitely likes to play with them, though. But we let him get close to one time, and it got him on the nose. And I think he learned his lesson a little bit.
Aw, poor little animals.
We should talk about Power Ranger things,
We can
right?
definitely
You
talk
guys
about
have
Power
questions?
Rangers. If you guys have questions, please. That's why we're here. Q&A with the ladies from Power Rangers Past.
Happy to answer anything.
Well, not anything.
Okay, not anything. Almost.
I mean, how was it? I mean, overall, as a show in general for both of you, how was it working on Power Rangers?
It was fun, it was just, well, because I was in the very first season, and it was before it even broke on national TV. We didn't even know if we would have a job after season 1. We didn't know if it would be a hit, if anybody would even watch it. So it was just, an acting job I was happy to have. And then once it aired and we realized the response, we're like, oh my God, this is a big thing. Like my boyfriend at the time, he said he was out at the community pool at his apartment complex. He's like, all these kids are out there, they're pretending they're Power Rangers. They're like, hitting each other with swords. He's like, this is nuts. Like, so at the time it was just like, a fun acting job, and then it really turned into a big thing. And it was just, a privilege to be part of that. It was really cool. What about for you?
Gosh. Well, like ours was 20 and 30 years ago, but
Way later.
sometimes it feels not that long ago until I look at myself. No. It was so different from anything I'd ever filmed. And it was so amazing to be a woman and then be cast in such a, like, I mean, really, women don't get to play, or back then didn't get, cast as like, the leader, and didn't play such strong characters. And being able to start off as the leader and be an Air Force pilot was just really, just so amazing. But maybe what you guys don't know is that when you're cast, you don't even really know what character you're playing. When they audition us, they have every single person reading for every single Ranger read the same lines.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we all just had the same one-page script, and that's all we had to read. Over and over and over again. They kept bringing us back like 5-6 times, reading the same little one page like over and over. But yeah, so you don't actually know what kind of character that you're going to play. So I had no clue, and I was really very pleasantly surprised that I got to play Taylor. So.
Were there any other skills they were looking for? I mean, like a lot of the Power Rangers that I've met previously, either martial arts or dance or acrobatics. Was that anything that they were looking for in your casting for Wild Force?
I think because we had so many amazing stunt men and women, that they weren't too worried about that. We had a few weeks of training, like. You should have seen us and heard us like crying, because they, made our bodies do things we'd never done, like, stunts. We had never done stunts, so, the bruises and the back pain were totally worth it, because after 2 weeks, we sort of looked like we knew what we were doing. Did you guys think we sort of knew? A little bit? A little bit, thank you.
And
did you have any special things that you had to?
Well,
Sorry, I'm not.
No, it's okay.
Oh, you're
In my
fine.
The pen
audition,
host.
they just had me do some robotic movement. So I did have a dance and theater background in college. So yeah, when they brought me in, they just had me do some robotics and then say some lines. And they said, okay, we really like you. We're seeing some more people, so we'll let you know. I'm like, okay. And then I heard the next time.
so you did kind of the miming of the robot, and you were the voice as well.
Well, I did the voice on set.
On
So
set.
I would memorize all my lines and I would say everything on set. And then Richard would dub it in the studio after the fact. What's really funny is I didn't even know they were dubbing the voice. So I was doing the full I on set, doing the alpha voice. And for the longest time, I thought that's what they used in the show. And then I found out, oh, they dubbed it. Okay, because they wanted actually a male voice, even though we pretty much sounded the same.
So yeah, Alpha very much could be either way, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I suppose, or androgynous,
yeah,
I mean, it's a robot.
can never tell.
No, you cannot.
What kind of, now you said you had some background beforehand. Were you guys doing anything prior to Power Rangers? Any acting gigs or shows before Power Rangers?
I did a lot of improv and sketch comedy, things like that. I was a theater major at Cal State Northridge, so I did plays with them. Did a little independent movie with some friends, so, just some stuff here and there. Nothing major. Not like you. I know you have a big background.
Well, I started off when I was 8. So I've been, I've been acting since I was 8, and I did some TV shows, and you guys might have seen the show that I did with JDF the year before I shot Power Rangers. You guys see that? No. So there was a show on, maybe, I think you guys were probably too young to have watched it. It was called MTV's Undressed.
I remember that.
Did you see that? Did you see myself and Jason David Frank?
Without it taking the time. Later on, they had some really
I think it's on YouTube. You should Google it. It's very embarrassing.
I'm definitely gonna go to that.
StocktonCon, JDF was doing signings. I went and met him.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of funny since doing my that martial back in Tima. I ended up using the dragon down and you're teaching on a little bit of it now.
That's cool.
After when I went back to the jungle, I stayed up there. I saw the rewind come on.
That's really
That's
cool.
all we're gonna do. Okay.
Awesome. Well, it's on YouTube, so if you want to Google it, the year before I booked the Power Rangers, I booked this show on MTV. And I show up, and I'm in makeup, and it's like the crack of dawn, and the woman doing my makeup's like, "That's the original Power Ranger." And I was like, I'm 24 years old. I don't know who that is. I don't know. She's like, "He's the most famous Power Ranger." I'm like, "That's cool, awesome." And then he and I filmed for 12 hours for each day for 5 days, and we made out quite a bit, and we had a lot of fun. And he was very lovely and sweet, and I have not seen him since, which is crazy. But then the year after, I booked the Power Rangers. So I sort of feel like JDF rubbed off so much Power Ranger on me in that week that I was able to book the Power Rangers. So I mean, that's like a very small world, right? That I filmed with him, and then like maybe a year later, I was so. Anyways.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I would love to see him. It's literally been 20, 21. I'm turning 45, so it's been like 22 years since I've seen him.
Oh my god.
Wow.
And he hasn't aged, right? He looks great, right?
There's all the tattoos.
Come on. It's the mask. No, thank you.
Have you been to the Power Morphicon in LA? You been a guest
Isn't
there?
that fun, you guys? Yeah.
Yes. Power Morphicons
Have you?
Actually, I'm friends with Scott Zillner. I've been friends with Scott for over 25 years.
Oh, nice.
Scott and I used to play games at a local comic book store.
No way.
And for him to get where he's at now in life, it's been really fun to watch Scott get there.
He works so
He does.
hard, and he creates such amazing experiences for thousands of people. Like, who can say that? Yeah.
And he actually partnered with JDF to do the Morphicon Express, and I'm fairly certain Jason's supposed to be there in August as well.
That's cool.
I know he had him in 2018.
Oh, really?
Are you doing PNC this year?
I'm going to Power Morphicon, but I'm not doing the thing
Not the
in
Express.
August, yeah.
Not the Express. August should be PMC.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, the
okay.
one in Pasadena.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's
thought,
August.
what's PMC Express?
It was something that JDF and Scott put together just to do like a one-day show every couple of months at different places.
Oh, okay.
I know they did one in Dallas, and then of course the pandemic hit. So unfortunately, I don't know how much of it got off the ground.
Well, I'm sure it'll come right back.
We're hoping so. Been waiting for
We're
4
all
years.
here,
Yeah.
which is so nice. Isn't it nice to go do something and see friends and see, right? Isn't it nice?
Filming is on the card. Filmmaker.
Yeah.
It's awesome to be with my friends and do what we love.
And being young and not being able to do it is it was probably hard. But good. Keep doing it. Sorry?
I actually missed my friends when we were all down there.
Of course.
Yeah.
We all were.
I'm a Gen Xer and I can only stay inside for so long myself. Only so many video games and TV that one can watch.
Yes, I am so sick of screens. I'm like, I'm so tired of screens.
You all have any questions?
Well, I actually have a question. What was it like to work with Jason Clark and the rest of the time?
The Megaforce Mega Battle?
The Time Force and Wild Force.
Our crossover.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Jason Clark, what was it like to work with?
Yeah, Dan gave me a ticket.
I remember that. That was messed up. You were going the safest speed mile ever. You just gave me a ticket.
Well, I think I was driving very fast
Still, that's awesome.
in that very. So Taylor didn't know she had a car, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, you're gonna be driving this yellow Mustang, and I'm like, oh, okay. Was it not a Mustang?
Mustang, convertible, yellow.
Yeah. I'm like, you guys are making me second guess my brain here. They were, since they were still such good friends and they were such a great vibe, like Time Force is such a great vibe and they're all such great people. And so when they came on set, it was kind of nice because we've been filming, our cast for many months, and you kind of like, it was nice to see the same people each day, but it was nice to like have some fresh blood come in. And their season was so cool. So for us to be able to sort of work with them and laugh with them, and it was really fun.
So it's like Jason Bond really cool on set.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a super nice guy. Like, they're all really nice people. It was such a positive 2 weeks. It was just so much fun. Very sad when they left. But guys, I was very like a huge fan of Vernon Wells.
Vernon Wells.
So he's more like our age group, right?
Yeah.
From like Mad Max and like.
Oh my gosh, I was just talking about 1981. Road Warrior is my favorite movie of all time.
Really?
Oh, I love it. I love the post-apocalyptic genre, and that movie is why. And I mean, Vernon Wells he's pretty much the second in charge villain in that movie.
Yeah.
And then when I first saw Time Force and seeing Rancic on screen, I was like, wait a minute, that's Vernon Wells. And then of course he's in Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger as Bennett. I mean,
Did you see Weird Science?
Yes,
You guys see Weird Science?
he's the leader of the biker gang.
Please watch that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Please, it is brilliant.
Weird
Weird
Science,
Science is one of my all-time favorite movies. It's during that like time of the like John Hughes films. Do you
Kelly
know John
LeBrock
Hughes?
and Anthony Michael Hall.
Anthony Michael Hall. Please watch Weird Science. It's
Paxton.
hysterical, and Vernon Wells has such a funny. Did you ever see that?
Yeah.
But I showed up on set, right? And then there's Vernon Wells. And I'm like, wait, what? I get to film with this guy?
I got to meet him at the 18 PMC, kind of
did?
before the doors open and the guests are walking around. I got to meet him. That was a big fun moment for me.
But
He
like-
was nice.
Like, young fans didn't really see those films, so they don't know him from them, because it was, what? Decades ago?
1981. And, yeah, he was kind of a tough guy actor in
Yeah.
the 80s. I mean, like I said, he fought Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando.
Check it out.
What else? Anything else out there? Come on. Yeah.
So going off the crossover shows, do you think that Eric Taylor storyline could have been explored on or continued on? Because the chemistry between you and his name is Danny, right? The chemistry, like, I don't know, seemed to pop off the screen to me. So do you think it's something that could have like, I don't know if like they can continue it further in the comic books, but what do you think?
I get asked about Taylor and Eric quite a bit, and I don't know, I guess for me they were just kind of flirting, but maybe if they actually had an entire season, they would have maybe held hands, or maybe kissed on the cheek.
That's a little heavy for that
It's
time.
a kid's show, right? So,
We've had Kiss on the Lips before on Power Rangers. So.
who kissed on the lips?
Wasn't it Jason David Frank and
Was it Jason and Catherine?
Kimberly.
Kimberly? Was it?
Really?
Maybe?
They did?
I think they did kiss on the Lips.
Oh. Like once only and then never again?
There's your PG-13 rating right there.
Really? Seriously? Wow. PG-13.
In that time period, Disney get away with anything, or PG would be the same thing.
Do you remember anything like that happening?
I'll never tell.
Well, when the cameras were not rolling.
Right?
When the cameras are not rolling, that's a different story.
Oh, it's such a different story.
And I'm sure you have a lot of dirt for that, but
Yeah.
Or the After Dark panels, those all kinds of things come out, right? When they feed rangers vodka. And then they ask them
Then the real stories come out.
Yeah, definitely have the grand pleasure of hanging out with Walter after hours.
Oh, he's so funny.
He's
Yeah.
and he just wants to dance.
Yes. So true.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Hip hop keto, yeah.
Hip hop keto, yeah.
Which I got to do with him on one of the episodes. That was so fun. Not the easiest in like fiberglass, but hey, had to make it work.
How was wearing that suit?
Yeah.
Oh, it was bloody awful. Are you kidding me? That thing weighed a ton. So the top was all fiberglass with electronics and battery packs and switches. The spandex part was comfortable, and then the helmet could barely see out of. And that was a little heavy too. Yeah.
Could barely see out of it.
Oh yeah. No, when we filmed Day of the Dumpster, I could not see the edge of the stage. They had to change the helmet eventually. But they had me running around the command center like a crazy person. And the shoes, as you know, were like this big. My little tiny foot in a shoe this big, running around, no vision. I almost fell off the side of the stage. It's like they had to stop me at one point, like, wait. Yeah, it was a little scary. Yeah, that suit was, it's not good. I could see a little. So there was like the light bar here that would flash, and then I could see a little bit through that. And then they had a black mask underneath to like cover my face and my neck, and I could kind of cheat my eye line down so I could see a little bit there, so to see the floor. But it was really limited vision. So, but I hit my mark, and I pushed those buttons on the command center, and I did my best darn it with those hockey gloves and everything.
That's amazing.
And the masks, I think all the helmets are pretty notorious for having poor sight. At any point,
They would fog.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, you would
That is
know.
a nice helmet. I don't even have a helmet.
nobody's
Me
It's a
neither.
nice helmet. No one's made me. No, I no. There's
don't
a
know
lot
what
of
I-
us, so probably
Did you
haven't.
did you get to take anything from the set when you were done, or?
Actually,
I didn't.
I have. So I was given, and I think I showed you guys at my table, but I brought them. Of course, when I go to pull it out, I can't. Oh, here. So these
Oh, that's
are
cool.
my original dog tags from the show, and they say Taylor Earhardt, lieutenant, second lieutenant on them. And we got to keep, not the spandex, which I'm glad about because I could barely fit into that. And it was not very flattering. I felt like with my blonde hair and all the yellow, I just felt like a really tall banana, really. But one vest and the pants and the shirts and the shoes, the belts with the eagle, and these. So.
Gonna like dressed up on a mannequin at home, sitting there, or all in a box.
I have so many Power Ranger things, and they're in my garage, and they're in like one section, so I can just love on them. And so they're safe. And mind you, I have 7 pets, so they would ruin anything cloth in my house. So no,
And
they're
nothing.
protected.
And nothing at all. Nothing. You weren't able to take anything.
Nada. I heard that somebody had sold the original Alpha suit for several $1,000s to somebody in the UK. But yeah, they didn't let me take anything home.
You should track it down. Track it down. And like see.
I'm not buying it.
No, but like maybe you can go to a con there and they can bring it, and you can, just so you can.
That's the plan eventually.
You
Yeah,
know?
I hope to
There you
do one
go.
in the UK.
At least, yeah. As I know Scott Zillner's actually got a couple Ranger monster suits in his living room.
He does.
You walk into his front door, you walk into Scott's house, and there's like next to no walking room. It's just
Really?
pathways.
Oh,
He's
no.
got so much everything just in his house. His front room's like a video arcade, but he's got two monster suits like
Well,
right
those
there.
are massive.
They are.
They are.
They're huge.
You guys, those suits are huge.
And those are heavy too.
Yeah,
The,
it's
all
all
latex.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
There was like a big monster closet at the Power Rangers studios, and you would like open the door, there's just all these monsters hanging in there. It's like, pretty funny.
All the stunt guys really should also be at cons, because they just, I mean.
Well, they do PMC. A lot of them come out for PMC.
Some did come, yes,
Yeah.
finally, because they like, I mean, they just really made us look way cooler than we actually did.
I got to meet the putties. I think I got to meet one of the putties that was at PMC and then at LA Comic Con. And I really love how animated the putties were.
Yeah, they were fun. Very.
I think the last PMC that I went to, I dressed up as the White Ranger, and my friend dressed up as Putty. So she was able to get a mask for her husband, and then she made like putty gloves out of like workers gloves, and then she just threw all that crap over and painted it.
Oh, clever.
It looks so good.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I don't know, like the actors and stuff. When I first tried on that Ranger helmet,
Yeah.
like how do you guys? It was really hard for me to like breathe in that thing. Like, because I have a Billy suit like that as well, and I have the White Ranger suit. And I'm like, I had to like learn how to
Kind of breathe down.
control my
Yeah.
That's pretty much just like when you first learn, you gotta like hold it, it's kind of like slow down now, we try to bring it down.
It's so tight, and then you only have like the little holes underneath the face parts.
And I feel like on the Keeler Ranger, they do have like a gray mesh that they use on one of the stun helmets during the original.
And my face is kind of big, so my face will like.
No, they're tiny.
Well-
I have a Lord Draken helmet.
Yeah,
You-
this one's got a beak that sticks down like right here.
Does that hurt?
That doesn't contact you, but if you're line of sight, because you have those on like this and down.
Oh, so you can't like see?
No, yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
you have this little bit, but the beak is like right down here. So if you look down, it's underneath it, but just make it line of sight on the side. Oh.
Well, we didn't wear our helmets, I think, once.
Really?
No, I've never, I think, put a helmet on. We were holding them like this. But
So all
that's why
your,
the stunt guys really like were amazing, because they had to do all that fighting, and they had to wear the helmets on top of that. So yeah, we got it so easy compared to them. I mean,
So our other Rangers had to work later once we get away.
right? We like look like we're gonna put it on, or we are holding it, but they didn't like have us actually put them on. No. So honestly, I have no clue what the helmet feels like. That sounded. Anyways,
somebody should spring for a helmet for you at least then. I mean,
thank you. I will probably start asking prior to PMC, because you guys are like, hey, can I take a picture with your helmet? And I'm like, I'm so sorry, I have no helmet.
it seems like the Aniki cosplay, is that where you got yours? Aniki?
Yeah, my White Ranger helmet.
Yeah, my Draken helmet's Aniki.
I mean,
Yeah, so mine.
Yeah.
his are brilliant.
I bought mine from Scott, so. It's the one they had on display at Morphicon. It's like, I'm taking that home. He's like, it's this much money. I said, here you go.
Oh, wow. Well,
Talk-
maybe
talk-
someday
talk to
you
Scott.
and I will have our helmets, and
We can only dream.
we can only dream. Someone please out there, hook us up.
We'll start a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Helmets.
The Power Rangers.
Please.
Helmets for tots. Okay.
Toss.
For tarts.
Oh, okay. Do you have any other questions?
Anybody else?
Anyone?
Yeah, please.
Alright, we like to have this every Ranger that I've met so far, and most of them. Is there any particular lines that you guys remember? It's like Billy when I asked you, he says the look multifunctional, fully autonomous and autonomous, something like that. That's the one like he says that he remembers because he's tripped up so much. What about you guys? Do you have any particular lines that you were like, will always remember?
I guess the one about teenagers. Why would you pick teenagers? And of course, ay. And what else would Alpha say, right? Do you have any lines?
One of my favorites, sorry Jungle Boy, you've just been drafted. When I punch him. And Rick was so cute. He's like, Allie, punch me really hard. Make it look real. So I'm like, okay, dude, we've met like 3 weeks ago, but sure, I'll punch you really hard. He was like very method, and I loved that because he was so passionate about making it look so good for, you know, for you. Like, he's like, so, you know, it's gonna hurt, so do it. So that was fun. So I punched him really hard.
Did it hurt really bad?
I highly doubt. I mean, his six pack. I mean,
Okay.
I think it hurt my hand, not Rick's stomach. But that was fun because like that's like a cool line.
That is a cool
You
one.
like punch somebody
Yeah.
and he falls down. Like I'm like this like little skinny girl and I punch this big guy and he falls. Anyways, so there.
Very
Yes.
cool.
That's an awesome question, and that's the first time that I've been asked that. So thank you.
Thank you. You had a question?
Do you have a favorite episode? Either like that they were in or seen, or do you have a favorite episode?
My favorite is my Christmas special. I love doing that because it was the first time we brought kids into the command center, and they were floored. They saw me without my helmet, like, Alpha's a girl? Like, they were totally shocked. And then they all wanted to take turns, like, turning the light switch on for the lightning bolt on my chest. So I had a little toggle switch on the side, so like, okay, pick me, I want to turn it on. And it was just such a fun thing to film. We just had a blast doing that. So that's my personal favorite.
Actually, the final episodes for Wild Force were pretty amazing. The scenes where it's raining and we're all wet and we're all fighting, they were a nightmare to film. Like, they were really, really hard and very cold. But that was just like those scenes and like the fighting in them and like how intense it was pretty great. And sitting in it, climbing up a real F-16 and getting to sit in that plane was really amazing. That was so amazing, yeah. But yeah, thank you.
Anything else out there? We're curious about anything.
Right. When COVID first hit about 2 years ago, during the whole time, did you guys pick up any new skills or hobbies to pass the time?
Did you?
Not anything new, but I cooked a lot.
What did you cook?
Oh my gosh. Well, okay, so during the pandemic, you remember grocery shelves were like empty. I went to Trader Joe's one time and they had nothing in the freezer section except mochi. It's like, I don't want mochi. But for some reason, I had all the ingredients I needed to make a beautiful paella. So I had the bomba rice, I had the saffron, I had chicken, I had some shrimp. It's like, I just kept pulling things out of my pantry and out of my freezer. I'm like, oh, okay, well, we could put this together. So I think that was my favorite dish I made over the pandemic. I was really proud of myself. I took a picture, I posted it on Facebook, darn it. And I don't normally post food pics, but I was kind of proud of that moment.
You're making me hungry. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. No.
Did you pick up a skill?
Did you know how to cook that prior to trying it?
I had made it before, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's like a very complicated dish.
It was, and we have the actual pan. We've got the paella pan.
Oh, that's
You
fancy.
got to keep turning it. Yeah, making sure things don't burn and stick. It was good though.
It was kind of a little boring. I just hiked a lot with my dogs, and I got to go to Ireland for a trip for 3 weeks. My ex-husband's there, who I'm best friends with, weird, and I
It
have
could
some
be worse.
godchildren. Oh, it could be much worse. And some very dear friends, and that was fun. And it was nice to get away. But I don't know, I just walk my dogs a lot and like, it was like a strange break, right? So it was sort of like time stood still. It was like sort of like a strange, sort of like you were floating, so.
Yeah. So
Whereas
they hit
like
the pause button on life.
right?
Yeah.
And like, you know, there are people who wrote books and like learned to speak a new language. I'm like, I'm not a type A person. Taylor is, but I'm not. I'm like chill. I'm like, let's garden and cook and play with the animals. So no. Did you?
A little bit. Well, the best thing that ever happened to me during this whole pandemic is I met this girl who is now my girlfriend, and like best relationship I've ever been in my life. Like if COVID didn't happen, it wouldn't have happened.
That's
for
so
you.
awesome. I'm
Hooray
still
for that.
single. At least one of us met somebody.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
That's so sweet.
You gonna marry her?
Almost, but not yet.
Yeah. Okay.
I hope so. It's
Get
because she
close.
lives in SoCal right now because she's like taking care of her mom, like her caregiver, so that's like why we're apart at the moment.
Well, that's a very good sign. It shows that she has a big heart and she loves her mom, and that's a good sign because, you know,
She's a keeper.
yeah, sharing your life with someone, you want someone caring and someone, you know, because you might need her to take care of you someday. Well, keep us posted.
I will.
Yeah, good luck.
For Alyson, you have this business, the mustard oil.
Oh, yeah.
Is that something you've always had, or did you start that after
So right after the Power Rangers, my mom and I bought a women's gym, and that's when I started to make the mustard just for our clients. But I've been selling it to stores for 7 years. I make mustard, which is really weird. It's sweet and spicy, like me. And it's yellow, which is funny, right? Because I was the Yellow Ranger. As an actor, you don't always have acting work. So you do things like bartend or make mustard or do all kinds of things, right?
You do.
You
I'm
gotta.
actually a realtor on the side.
You are? You
Yeah.
gonna say that? Do you do like houses or commercial or?
Houses. Yeah.
You should be on that show, $1 Million Listing.
I should.
You should.
Because pretty
Right.
much everything is over $1 million these days.
Yeah. In
It's
Los Angeles.
nuts. Yeah, Orange
LA.
County too.
Sacramento's not great either.
Really?
Yeah, the prices are going up big time. We're on that upswing.
Okay.
And my girlfriend and I bought a house 2 years ago, and we paid
Congratulations.
Good for you.
$362, but our house has appreciated upwards of 518
No way.
months. Yeah,
I believe
No
it.
way. That's amazing. Good for you.
it's interesting. It's almost surreal still to walk up to my house and go, "This is my house."
I'm a grown up now.
I know, that's how it felt. It's like I'm a real grown up.
I
I'm a
got
real
something.
boy.
I'm a real boy. That's so funny.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, you're smart to do that. You know, like houses on my street, little itty bitty houses that used to be like 300,000-400,000 or like $1 million something, and I'm like, yes, I will not be buying a house anytime soon where I live. If you want to live in Texas, you can get a humongous house for less than 400,000. So, like, huge.
My friend paid $410 for 3,600 square feet.
Oh my.
All right, when are we moving?
Yeah. He's got to move to Texas and deal with the chaotic weather. Like just yesterday, my buddy said it was 70 degrees 2 days ago, and then it was snowing yesterday.
No.
Yeah, that's Texas. You want the weather to change? Wait 10 minutes.
Really? I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
know that.
it's pretty chaotic, especially when you get closer to the coast.
Really? I do not know. Well, that's kind of fun too. It's not like Los Angeles where it's like just always sunny.
Yeah.
We don't have as much smog as we used to.
But yeah, it's true. Well, if everyone didn't move there, there wouldn't be so much, right?
Dreamers in California, they'll go there.
Who? Sorry?
Dreamers in California.
Dreamers. Yeah, but dreamers are why we're all here, right? Takes a dreamer to make a show, to create a show, to want to act. to want to dress up, and I mean, that's what makes life a little sweeter, right? This.
Yeah, makes it interesting.
Or else life can be really dry and too serious, right?
It's nice
On
to
that
be back
note.
out. Yeah, on that note, unfortunately, we are out of time. Yeah, it's about that time.
Thanks for having us.
Oh gosh, thank you
you.
so much for being here, the both of you. Thank you for making it to our show and holding the panel for us to ask questions. We love having you here, and we're glad you could make it.
We are
It's our
too.
pleasure.
Thanks
For having us.
Sorry,
Thanks
it's
for
just for
coming
a
out,
day.
you
And thank you all for being here.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
Asking questions and being at the show and supporting
Yeah.
StocktonCon. We appreciate you as well. So, thank
Stay
you very much.
safe.
Yes, definitely.
Please,
And thank you for
everyone
being
stay
safe.
healthy.
Yes, and if you get COVID, lots of vitamin C.
And
please.
mustard.
And mustard.
Yes,
And mustard.
mustard cures COVID, right?
Mustard.
Sorry.
Sweet, spicy mustard.
Totally.
Anyways,
You didn't bring any to sell, did you?
well, I was worried that, okay, so packing glass jars, not so super smart when they fling your luggage,
Yeah.
right? But if you come to PMC, I will have lots. And one's smoky, one I put fat tire beer in, but it's boiled for a long time, so it does boil the alcohol out, but there's still that flavor of fat tire beer. And yeah, and it's just fun. I like to feed people. I like to cook too, but I cannot make a paella, so
Well, you gotta come over.
I would
Love
love that.
paella.
And then come to PMC?
Yes,
Some
come to
mustard.
PMC.
I'm looking forward
It's going to be
that.
so much fun.
Yeah, it
Long
always
time
is.
coming.
Once
Thanks
again,
for having us.
thank you very much, ladies. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a fun day, you guys.
Have fun, you guys.
And if you guys want to stick around, we have the Gears of War panel next. So Lester Spate and Carlos Farrell will be here at 1 o'clock.
Yay. Put my dog tags on.